The time that I have with my boys is precious, and when I come home from work, the last thing that I want to be doing is worrying about all of the extras. Parents don't expect to ever have a child that is so medically fragile or having to go through something like this. This is not anything that you ever expect to hear when you get to that doctor's office or hear those words. Hearing those words, your child has cancer or your child has leukemia. It's not something that you can ever prepare yourself for. It's the biggest gut punch that I've ever received. Hi, my name is Shannon, and I am Graham's mom. I think that life is short, and sometimes it's shorter than you want it to be, and the time that they've been able to give me to spend with my family is so important. Graham is a very enthusiastic 5-year-old boy. He loves being a big brother, and he's got such a good heart. So Graham was diagnosed just before his 3rd birthday with leukemia. I was 20 weeks pregnant with our 3rd little boy, and our 2nd little boy was 2 weeks before his 1st birthday. He came to me and said that his legs were hurting, and he joked that he was going to grab a foam roller and roll his legs because he thought maybe that would help. And that night, the leg pain got worse. They did a bone marrow biopsy and confirmed that it was pre-B cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia. We stayed at VCU for an entire week. The same day as he did his bone marrow biopsy, while he was under sedation, he had his port placed, and they started chemotherapy immediately. By the end of that week, really even by halfway through that week, his legs were better. He wasn't in pain anymore. He had energy. He didn't have a fever. It seemed like he was doing much better, but it was kind of the beginning of a very, very long journey for us. People were curious about what was happening with regard to Graham's well-being, and minutes after I posted it, a family friend recommended that we fill out a link to get us hooked up with the Fairy Godmother Project. Within hours, I was put in communication with Andy and the program coordinator. The very next day, were having individuals come to our home to clean. One of the things that we learned pretty early on was how chemotherapy can really compromise your immune system, and it was worrisome to me. We keep a pretty tidy house, but as far as germ-free goes, I had no idea. I hadn't been disinfecting all of the boys' toys, and I hadn't been disinfecting things in the way that I felt like I needed to, and so we had a team of people come through the home, led by the Fairy Godmother Project, and get everything ready for us to come home. Also, within a day, we had meals, gas, groceries, all of financial resources to help out with that. And at the time when everyone that was closest to us was asking me how they could be helpful, I didn't know what to tell them. I had nothing to tell them on how they could be helpful. We have adjusted our life to this new normal. Now we're going on almost 3 years of this being a cancer parent. It's not easier necessarily. It's different than it was at the beginning. There's new challenges that pop up all the time. I think my biggest piece of advice is accept the help however and wherever you can get it. At the beginning, I didn't know what kind of help I was really going to need. I had no idea. And I wasn't necessarily one to ask for or accept help previously, and now I'm much less proud about things like that. The Fairy Godmother Project has provided us with things that have been incredibly helpful, and so the gas cards have been incredible. The grocery cards, they've helped to provide extra snacks for the car trips, or a quick meal for when we get back and we don't have time to prepare something. But some of the other so incredibly valuable things that they've provided for us that have really ultimately given us the time. The lawn mowing service. My husband prides himself on having a really great lawn, but it takes a decent amount of time, and so the lawn mowing service has provided us with more time with him, and it's really been excellent. The arts and crafts that they send on a weekly or a monthly basis, rather, it's given me a prepackaged, really fantastic arts and craft activity for me to be able to do with the boys on a rainy day, or in a day that they want to sit down and really be creative. And so it's something as easy and as simple as that provides something so valuable to us. We really are so appreciative and really have enjoyed having Fairy Godmother Project in our lives. The Fairy Godmother Project never asked, they just did. They just knew what would be the most helpful